Being a creative problem solver is probably the most useful characteristic I possess, because oftentimes the only certainty is uncertainty. Hi, I'm Cynthia, founder of The Brave Zone. I built my career in sales, marketing, and business management in East Asia between 1996 to 2006. That was a decade where everything that could go wrong did go wrong. A political coup, massive riots, drastic currency devaluation, the SARS epidemic, Asian tsunami, and multiple terrorist attacks that followed the 9/11 incident. We not only had to take care of the business, but we also had to take care of our own personal safety. And to this day, my team in Indonesia still experience business disruptions from floods and periodic political demonstrations. That's all part of doing business in a dynamic economy. Through it all, life has taught me how to stand in the face of chaos and achieve anyway. Despite the hard times, we were always able to retain clients, protect our bottom line, and engage our team to work in unity. I'm not going to get into all the details of the incidents. You can read all that on the internet. But I do want to share how to develop resilience in the midst of chaos. My intention is to equip you with a new way of thinking, which will perhaps empower you to get through the hardship you are experiencing now. You see, for me, entrepreneurship is not a legal status. It's a way of seeing the world and your role in it. Whether you're an employee working in someone else's company or a business owner, you are always working for yourself and your own dreams. I repeat, you never work for someone else. You always work for yourself and your dreams. And having a solid entrepreneurship mindset will get you through tough times. Why? Because if you work for your own dreams, then you must know what those dreams are. You would have taken the time to think about them, perhaps write them down and visualize them. And you live letting those dreams fuel your drive. So achieving is not a job or a chore. It's not something you do for the sake of external recognition. It's your way to actualize your potential. You do it for the sake of realizing your potential, creating your legacy, collecting stories you can proudly tell your kids and grandkids. In the same way, solving a problem in business is no longer something you do to get kudos from the boss or some award at the end of the year. Problem solving is part of your survival, and it's also a way for you to learn to get good at something. It's a challenge you will be more willing to take because you know that if you can solve this one, you can solve a bigger one later on when it comes. And that makes you feel more secure in life. I always advise people, don't work for money, work for the ability to make money. Money can suddenly be taken away from you, but the ability to make money stays with you forever. When I was 16, my dad told me I needed to someday be independent enough to find a home anywhere in the world. You see, I grew up in a time when Indonesia was still very sensitive about people from Chinese descent. Chinese Indonesians were treated differently than native Indonesians. We often became victims of violence whenever the country goes through political or economic unrest. We don't often have this problem anymore, so I'm not going to overemphasize it, but my parents lived through the violence and discrimination, and they wanted to make sure I was prepared to find a new place to live and survive if I had to. My dad suggested I went into sales because salesmanship will teach me business, and if I can do business, I can make money, and if I had money, I would be safe. Simple logic, really. But this stuck to me, and from him, I learned the value of hard work and the importance of personal development. Growth became a top value for me. So what drove me to survive and even thrive through tough times was the desire for growth. Each time I learned to overcome a new challenge, I felt more confident that my future would be safe. I did go into sales, but soon I realized that business was not just about selling. So I made a commitment to myself to always exceed expectations and then ask for a higher role or a wider job scope. Why? Because I wanted to learn how business works. Perhaps one day I would be a business owner or at least a general manager, I thought. Now, I didn't really have a clear 10-year plan back then, but I knew I would learn most by doing. And that's why I worked hard to achieve outstanding results. I remember one of my first awards was when I worked for a multinational organization. I was apparently the best corporate account manager out of 138 countries. Wow, what an achievement. For a young rookie like me, it was. You know how I was recognized? I received the award in a box, shipped to my office, put on my desk. No personalized note from my boss, no special lunch, not even an announcement to the rest of my team. Of course, the names of the awardees were listed in that month's global newsletter, and I did get a printed letter with a stamped signature from the head office in the same box, so I guess I should have been grateful. Anyway, I was alone in my office, and there was really no one to celebrate with, so I took the award out of the box, wiped out the styrofoam dust, and set it next to my desk phone. Then I continued doing work. That's it. Life goes on. You see, if I were driven by external recognition, that would have been a pretty bitter moment. But I was driven by growth and the vision of my ideal life. So instead of being bitter and fussing over the lack of management recognition, I chose to feel proud. It was the biggest recognition I ever got. I was only 24 years old and already winning global awards. Most of all, I felt confident that I didn't only learn about sales, I actually proved it by achieving high sales numbers. To me, the only proof of learning is achieving. I felt more secure about life and how I would survive in it. A few months later, I asked for a position in marketing in Singapore, and they created one for me. I figured I wanted to learn how marketing works, not just sales. And that's how I started to spread my wings, leading marketing efforts in 4 countries, then 11, then fixing one business unit in Indonesia and another one in Singapore. A total of 9 years committing myself to do what it takes to learn how business works. By the end of it, I knew how to solve business problems in sales, marketing, operations, HR, and finance without having to go to business school. I knew how to improve revenue, profits, and cash in both product and service businesses. And I learned it all by achieving, not just by reading some book. In 2008, I started a business coaching company, and I'm happy to say that my team and my partners are running that business very well without me. Thanks to my psychology background and business acumen, I can offer something really unique that most mentors cannot. A combination of psychology and business intuition that can get to the root and solve many issues in a company. I've lived in Singapore, France, and now the UK to realize my dad's advice to find myself a home, find myself a place. If I could see my dad again, I'd tell him, "Dad, I did what you said. I went into sales, I learned business, I managed my money, and now I'm a global citizen." I guess telling you my story is probably a long-winded way to get to the point, but I just wanted to reiterate that you never, ever work for anyone else. You work for yourself and for your own dreams. So all these challenges you're facing now, it's not easy, but it's also not impossible. If your boss or your client is giving you a hard time or a tough challenge, just remember, you solve it not only for them, but more importantly, for your own personal and professional growth. You're collecting stories that you will one day proudly tell your kids and grandkids. Back in the days of coronavirus, life was tough, but here's what I did. Something like that. Remember, your children learn from what you do, not just what you say. So if you're finding it hard to get motivated, then you haven't developed a clear enough drive. Do something about it. There are lots of people who can help, and I'm always here to chat if you want to as well. If you're finding it hard to solve a problem, then it could be that you're lacking a skill. Again, these days, there are so many ways to learn. It's easy, affordable, and available. I get asked by organizations to inspire their team to build resilience. They say that I awaken something in them. I tell them simply that it's probably just a fire that's been there all along. All I did was reignite it. Like fan the flame a bit or something. You all have something in you that can drive you to succeed no matter what. For some of you, it's your family. For others, it's some kind of self-actualization or a cause you want to fight for. All I do is to help you connect to it. Take out all your head trash, your limiting beliefs, the concerns of your daily life, and invite you to connect with your purpose, your dreams, your essence, and your reason for being. What's weird? I also find that after my clients connect with their internal fire, the way they see the world changes. Without adding any new skills, you may find yourself already more resourceful and creative in facing problems. Sometimes when it comes to being resilient, being more brave in the face of challenge, sometimes the question is not, how should I overcome it? The real question is, why should I overcome it? I hope this sharing has reignited your fire. And I ask us to share this with at least one person who may be in need of a lift right now. Just one person. Again, I'm always here if you want to book a call or to chat. Thanks for watching.